Have you noticed something strange? When you hold sand too tightly, it slips through your fingers. But when your palm is open, the sand stays. This simple experience explains something most of us struggle with: detachment. And no, detachment does not mean you don't care. It means something very different. Most people believe detachment means becoming cold. They think it means switching off emotions. They think it means not loving deeply. But that isn't detachment, that's avoidance. From a very young age, we are taught a specific idea that worrying means caring, that stress means responsibility, that if you truly love someone, you must constantly think about them. If you're calm, people ask, "Don't you care?" If you're not stressed, they say, "You're not serious enough." This is where the misunderstanding begins. We confuse clinging with caring. Think of a child holding a favorite toy. The child loves it so much that they squeeze it tightly, and without realizing it, they break it. The intention was love, the result was damage. This is what attachment does. It comes from care, but it expresses itself as control. Detachment is not the absence of love, it is the absence of fear inside love. It is the middle path, not being a stone and not being a slave, being a master. This idea is explained very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is standing on the battlefield. He is not confused because he lacks skill, he is confused because he cares too much. He loves his teachers, he loves his cousins. He is attached to what the result will mean emotionally. And because of that attachment, he freezes. He cannot act. Krishna doesn't tell Arjuna to stop caring. He doesn't tell him to become cold. He tells him to understand something deeper. You have control over your actions, but you do not control the results. Let's understand this like a simple story. Imagine planting a mango seed. You prepare the soil, you water it, you make sure it gets sunlight. That is your responsibility. But if you dig up the seed every hour to check if it's growing, you kill the plant. And if you say, "I don't care at all," and never water it, you also kill the plant. Detachment is neither obsession nor neglect. Detachment is steady care without interference. Doing the work fully, without fear breathing down your neck. This is called Nishkam Karma, action without obsession over the result. A modern way to understand this is through a video game. When you play a game, you focus completely. You give it your attention. You want to win. But if the character dies, you don't collapse emotionally. You don't cry for 3 days. You press restart. That doesn't mean you didn't care about the game. It means you weren't enslaved by the outcome. That is detachment. Now let's bring this into real life. Think of a camera lens. If you press the lens right against your eye, everything becomes a blur. You are too close to see clearly. That is attachment. If you throw the camera away completely, you see nothing because you don't care. That is indifference. Detachment is holding the camera at the right distance, close enough to care, far enough to see. Detachment is not closing your eyes, it is seeing clearly. This is why professionals who perform at the highest level are detached. Think of a surgeon. If a surgeon is operating on their own child, their hands might shake, not because they lack skill, but because they are too attached to the result. A great surgeon must care deeply about the procedure, but remain emotionally steady. Detachment gives steady hands in surgery, in work, in life. Modern science observes the same pattern. When we are stressed or obsessed with outcomes, the fear center of the brain becomes dominant. It pulls energy away from the part of the brain that plans, reasons, and focuses. Attachment literally makes you less intelligent. This is why elite athletes talk about something called the flow state. When they worry about medals, results, or opinions, their body tightens. Their performance drops. But when attention moves fully into the action, the mind quiets. The body steadies. Performance improves. Science and the Gita are pointing to the same truth. Obsessing over results destroys performance. Focused effort improves it. At this point, many people ask a very honest question. If I stop worrying, won't I become lazy? This fear makes sense. But worry is not discipline. Fear is not effort. Calm focus produces better work than anxious control. Every study on performance shows this. There is a similar idea in psychology called hyperintention. The harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you become. Sleep only comes when you stop trying to force it. Detachment doesn't reduce effort, it removes resistance. Now let's end with a simple image. Imagine you are staying in a beautiful hotel. You enjoy the bed. You enjoy the view. You enjoy the food. But you don't panic when it's time to check out, because you never owned it. Life works the same way. We suffer when we treat temporary things like possessions instead of experiences. Before you finish this video, think of one area in your life where you feel drained.